Hey everyone, this is Olay Shorunke from Laddering Your Success, and you're listening to the LYS Podcast. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world. Welcome one, welcome all to another session here of Edu-Steps, powered by Laddering Your Success. As always, my name is Olay Shorunke, and I'm here with my good friend, Jamarc Crawford. Jamarc, how you doing today? How you doing this wonderful Sunday?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Just happy to be here.
You know, before we were getting on, me and Jamarc were actually talking about this terrain run that we're doing on the 11th, this upcoming Saturday, and just how to run and not get tired. We're basically trying to be like Lance Armstrong type energy. So if you have any tips or anything to help us out with that, we would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to it though. Looking forward to it. Wonderful opportunity. So definitely.
Yes, sir.
So today we're going to continue on our scholarship series, and we're going to go a little bit deeper, a little bit further into scholarships. We know as of today, it is March 5th, 2023. We know that there are students, there are parents, counselors, administrators. They're getting ready for testing. We're gearing up for testing, and we're gearing up for what we know that you all are gearing up for, what comes after testing, scholarship deadlines, applications for universities, FAFSA, graduation, prom, all these things. So many things coming by, and it makes me think about, like, I won't say senioritis, but it just makes me think about my senior year and how, like, my formal public education years were coming to an end, and all those songs about high school and, never seeing your friends. It's so crazy. I think my graduating class had like 1,300, maybe 1,200 or something like that. And I think I've only seen like 100 of them since I've graduated. It's crazy. You'll see them here and there, and I'll be like, yeah, we went to school together. And other person be like, I have no idea who you are. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. All right, bye. So nice seeing you, kind of thing. But, yeah, that's where we are. A lot of folks are getting ready for scholarships and stuff like that. And so we're going to be giving some free game today and letting you know how you can get access to more of that free game through LYS, and our plethora of resources that we have. So while I pull that up, Crawford, you remember your senior year? You remember any fond memories as you think about like your senior year, going to, saying bye to like those teachers that you love that had an impact on you, your friends and things like that? Man, how was it for you?
Man, I don't even remember, to be honest. Oh man. No, I don't remember that part, but I do remember the stresses of trying to figure out how I'm gonna apply for these scholarships, how am I going to apply to get into these schools, paying the application fee to apply to the colleges. That was a thing for me since we were definitely low income. So I had to be specific, the colleges that I applied to, I couldn't just apply to all the ones that I wanted to. So I remember the stresses of that, and then having to write essays and things of that nature. At that time there was no AI to kind of like help us, such as like the Grammarly and the chat and things of that nature. So yeah, I remember those stresses more than anything.
That's right. Back in our day, we had to just use old noggin. Come up with the ideas off the top of the dome. We didn't have that fancy GPT. No, that's definitely true there, man. All right. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about this. Thing is, why is this important? Why are we talking about this? Well, the reason why we're talking about it is finding scholarships is hard. Not sure if you've known this, not sure if you've just done like a random Google search, scholarships 2023. Scholarships near me 2023. What scholarships are there out there for me? Finding scholarships is hard. People always say scholarships are out there, but when you go and check, there are more ads and pop-ups than scholarship information. And lastly, we're giving the straightest path to getting that money. We're giving the straightest path, the path of least resistance to get you to the success that you want, which is that money to help you pay for your higher learning, your college education. So speaking of which, Jamarc, you were talking about some of the struggles you had with finding scholarships. What were some of the things you struggled with when you were trying to get those scholarships?
Yes, man, it's exactly what you was about to go into, which is crazy. So I specifically remember, okay, I know of the word scholarships, right? I know what a scholarship is, but I had no clue how to find them or become aware. So we did have the internet at my time, right? We did have, I don't think it was Google, it was something else, but whatever it was, whatever search engine it was, all I did at the time was I typed in just the word scholarship, and so many websites popped up, and I would click on every single website and try to go through it and try to see what I can apply for. And that process was very, very frustrating because I had no clue or idea what I was doing. And I feel like at that time, when there's other people I'm talking to, I feel like you have to be in the know to kind of know about these scholarships. I was talking to a friend, and she was talking about, well, I don't understand why there's children out here talking about they want to go to school and they can't get scholarships when you could just do this and this and this and this and this. And she went down the list. And I was like, you do know the only reason you are aware of that particular information is because you're in the know. You are amongst the people who have the resources. The everyday person, especially our students or families that come from low SES, do not have access to that information, which that was me. And she was, her family was part of AKAs, when they had organizations to where they were in the know with these certain scholarships, to where all you had to literally do was apply and things of that nature. So she was in all these organizations to where they are giving those resources too. Well, what if you're just a regular low SES kid that just like to play basketball or sports? Those are the only scholarships we know of. If we don't get those type of scholarships, it's basically just typing in it in a search engine and clicking on whatever websites and trying to fill out what we can through that way. And obviously, that's not the most efficient way to do that. So that was my experience, and I didn't get any scholarships.
Absolutely, man. Very similar to you. I remember, man, rest in peace to Paulette Miss Clayman. I think, if I remember correctly, that was her name. At LSIC, she was in charge of the grad center. And basically what the grad center was basically like a computer lab for like juniors and seniors, primarily seniors, where you could go in there and take care of your FAFSA stuff, take care of, college applications, take care of scholarship applications and grants and all that good stuff. And she was just the nicest lady. You just go, even, a lot of our conversations didn't have anything to do with like college or scholarships. She was just a nice person to talk to. She was just wonderful to talk to. And so I remember going there, and I remember I was very socially awkward. I didn't like meeting, like going and hanging out with friends. Even my senior year, I had friends I could have sat with at the lunch table, but for whatever reason, I was just super shy. And I think that's why I like football, is because football, you were a community on your own, so you had no choice but to be stuck together. But once we were done with football, I was like, now I have to sit with the regular people. I don't know how to sit with the regular people. So I would just go to the grad lab and I would either play like Family Feud on Hasbro.com, or I would go on this website called MyFastWeb. And MyFastWeb, they had all these different scholarships and stuff. And so I go there and I'd be searching, and, kind of like we said, a lot of these scholarships, it was either I did not meet the requirements because I was lazy throughout high school. I really didn't get it together. So I either did not meet the requirements, I was either too lazy, I did this little checklist thing where you just checked out certain things about yourself. And I found out that if you wear glasses, you could get a scholarship. If you were, left-handed, they had all these different unique scholarship things. And, they didn't require a lot, but they did require effort, which makes sense. You're not going to give money to someone who's not willing to put in the work. And so I wasn't willing to put in the work, so just wasn't willing to put in the work. So I didn't meet the requirements. And so I was just like, just going through the motions or whatever. I'm applying to schools that I know I'm not going to get into. I'm just applying to them because my dad's like, you better apply to these schools. You better apply somewhere. What are you going to do with your life? Like the old Everest commercials from back in the day, when you're watching like Amari. Come on, man. What you doing with your life, man? You sitting there on the couch. You ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just take 5 minutes. That's all it takes. What are you doing with your life? You ain't doing nothing, man. Come on, man. So, I just did not have a lot of success with the scholarships. And I feel like our stories are the stories that a lot of young people are facing right now. Hey, LYS fam. It's Olay once again. These days, many families are busy, but want personalized attention. We at Laddering Your Success understand this dilemma and have created a unique approach to help guide you and your child with personal development tools to build a life of purpose. This intimate approach is helpful for those parents that feel the need to have a focused heart-to-heart conversation deciding on the next steps after high school. We provide individual post-secondary planning, virtual customized college and career counseling, and scholarship guidance and planning. Our one-on-one sessions are tailored to each individual student to maximize their potential in the post-secondary realm. With our guidance, your child will be able to make their dreams a reality. Don't wait. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to business on this podcast. I graduated in 2004. You graduated in 2005. It's almost 20 years later, and they're still dealing with those same issues. They're still dealing with those same things. Inability to get access to those resources and that knowledge. And it's out there. It's out there. It's just not, in front of them. It's just not in a place for them to see it. And a lot of them, in my mind, I told myself, man, ain't no way I'm gonna get this money anyway. Like, in my head, I'm like, man, ain't nobody trying to give me money. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not going to happen. So a lot of times we kind of walk away, or we kind of talk ourselves out of these wonderful opportunities that are out there for us. And that's not the case. That's just not the case. I feel like there are a lot of people who are very unique, who have wonderful talents, skills, and abilities, that have something to offer, but if they had more self-discovery, if they knew their purpose earlier on, they'd be able to be more confident and be able to go after these things and be able to win these scholarships and things like that. So definitely, man, awesome points there. And so we already talked about our personal relationship with scholarships. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to go right into it, because if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I get it, the story sucks, it's not cool, but what can I do? Well, one of the first things you can do is you can organize, right? You can just get a sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, make 2 columns. Make one list called fall and another list called spring. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the scholarships you qualify for, and you're going to organize them based on the deadline date, right? So what does that do? If you have those columns, right, and you have, all right, this is everything that's due in the fall semester, right? Fall's basically from August to December, August to January, if you want to go there, right? You already know that these scholarships that you qualify for, these are the deadlines. So what's that first one there? The first one, the due date is, let's say it's October 13th. All right, well, you get that thing ready, you get your template ready, and whatever the requirements are, you make sure you meet all those qualifications, those requirements, you get it done. Last week, man, we've been so blessed. We've had Cedric Scott Jr., we had Clayton on, and we had the brother, gosh, I can't remember. His name is not coming to the top of my head right now, but with the Police Officers Union, we had all these people come in talking about the scholarships and how we can put ourselves in the best position. Take it to your English teacher. If your English teacher don't want to do it, because some of y'all are bad and act bad in class, and your teacher like, I won't do nothing with you. I only got to deal with you from 8 to 9:30. I ain't trying to deal with you. Go find another English teacher. Find your junior teacher. Find your junior year English teacher. Find your sophomore. Find your freshman year. You have these resources. Give your scholarship essay to them. Have your application looked over. I'm pretty sure that grad center is still there, and if it's not there, it's got a new name and there's something there. Every school has that, right? Take it there. Make sure you get it filled out. Have someone look over it, right? If the deadline is October 13th, by October 1st, you should be good to go. You should be good to go, ready to send that thing out. Check it off. Take a look at your next one. When's the next due date? What? Next due date, October the 29th? Cool. Guess what? A lot of the legwork, a lot of the grunt work you've already done with that first scholarship that was due on the 13th, you kind of already got it ready for the 29th. Do you need a tweak with your essay a little bit? Cool. Copy and paste, get it going, change it up. Get a thesaurus, do whatever it is you got to do. Make sure you get your pictures, your videos. Some of y'all are super creative with TikToks and things. Y'all do TikToks about your boyfriends and your girlfriends and your crushes and all this other good stuff. Y'all do, y'all meme it up. Take that same energy and put it towards getting money for college, right? So just go down that list of your deadlines and just have your stuff ready. All right, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to do. This is what I got to do. Spring semester. We're in the spring semester right now. I'm positive. One of the folks we talked to within the last month, they said the scholarship is, I think it's doing like maybe within the next month or two or something, right? This is where it happens. This is where you got to get it going. So that's the power. That's the first strategy. Just know what scholarships you qualify for. Make 2 lists, one for fall, one for spring, and get those deadlines. Get everything done for those deadlines. Jamarc, did you want to throw in anything on that one? When it comes to the deadlines and stuff like that?
You hit it. You hit it on point.
I think about when and I don't know about you, Jamarc, but my biggest issue was the grades. And shout out to, shout out to Nkrumah Dixon. He works for where is A&M? College Station ISD, or he works near College Station now. He works in the admin department. He was my freshman year IPC, integrated physics and chemistry teacher. And when I say that dude planted a seed, man, that dude planted a seed in me, man. Because I was lazy, but I just retained knowledge very well. So we would do like these trivia, and I love trivia. And we would do these trivia things. And so, it was the only time, because I wasn't a popular guy, but it was the only time like I would have people like trying to pull me like, hey, Olay, hey, you gonna be on our team? You gonna be on our team? I was like, wherever the people pull me is where I'll go. Wherever I'm like LeBron basically. I'm taking my talents to the B team. to the right side. But they would just be asking these questions, but like answer. Man, I'll never forget. He did this multiplier thing where he was like, you can pick a question and you can multiply it times this, times 20, times 30. And so we were down. And so I multiplied it by like 20, but I got it wrong. And so the team was like, dang. And I was like, hey, don't worry. We got this. Came in with another question. It was about LSU and Stanford. They played in the College Baseball World Series. And I was like, all right, multiplier times 50, something like that. And I got it right. We ended up winning. They was like, I was like, ah. But I'll never forget, on my yearbook, he put, you are so full of potential. You're selling yourself short. He just always, throughout the school, you'd always tell me that. You're so full of potential. You keep selling yourself short. I see it in you. And I had to hit him up, man. Like, I think I hit him up like 2-3 years ago. I think I hit him about 3 years ago. Him and another teacher from my middle school. And I called him up and I was like, man, sir, just thank you so much, man. Cause you did a word on me, man. You helped me out. You definitely, like, it kicked in. It took a long time because I'm stubborn. It took a long time, but it finally kicked in. I was like, man, dude was right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knew, like, he's seen something in me. And he was like, oh man, I'm glad you remembered. And that was even awesome because he even remembered me, probably because of my name. But yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, so that's the first strategy right there, right? Make those 2 lists. Okay. All right. So real quick, just want to get into the types of scholarships that are out there. All right. And there's two main types of scholarships. You've got merit-based and you've got need-based. Okay. What's merit-based? Well, merit-based is based on your academic record. When they go and they look at your, help me out, Jamarc, what's the name? Your transcript, right? When they look at your transcript and they've got all the classes you've taken, all the grades you've made, right? Your GPA, all that fun info. They're looking at your extracurricular activities. They're looking at your volunteer work. They're also looking at the work that you do to earn the scholarship, like we said about 15 minutes ago, right? If you're lazy, if you're not willing to put in the work for the scholarship, then why would they give you the money? Because that's a reflection on what you've done. That's a reflection on what you're going to do, right? If you're like, just kind of going through the motions with this thing. My parents told me to do this. Oh, your parents told you to do this. So you're not trying to get this. I mean, I am, but I mean, like, they just kind of was like, yeah, you really need to do this so you can get the money. It's like, okay. As opposed to the person that's like, this work, like, I really wanted to do this because I have this goal of getting this degree because this is what I want to do. This is my purpose. So this is why I was doing all these things. And that's why this particular work that was required for this scholarship application, that's the way I did it this way. It's in line with who I am as a person. It's in line with my purpose. Oh, okay. Shut it down. You get the scholarship, or you get one of those scholarships, right? So you got merit-based, and then you've got need-based. Need-based is a focus on the remaining needs you have in order to pay for your education at the institution or the institution you plan on attending. Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay. If there's one thing I love, it's something free. I'm talking free 99, un gratis. No shipping or handling fees, no gotcha fees, nothing like that. With that being said, if you're graduating soon or thinking about college or need a nudge or help to decide, then our free ebook, 10 Things to Think About Before Going to College, has a very balanced and open-minded way of presenting your next steps. It captures broad topics in a personal way by giving students an insightful, interactive, and reflective source of inspiration. It is very beneficial to be able to visualize some of the concepts after high school and apply them directly to you. We all know life, college, and career planning decision-making choices for students can be challenging, especially as they near the completion of high school. This book will provide you with a self-paced guide to your success beyond academics and into real life. Not only is it free, you can complete this book within a week. This will definitely prepare you for long-term success. To get your free copy, simply go to lys.com/students. I mentioned it was free, right? Well, if I didn't, it's free. Like, for real. Okay, back to the podcast. All right, so that's the focus on the remaining needs. So after you pay your tuition, after you paid all of those things that need to be taken care of, what do you have left over, right? Based off of the need, okay? And so one important thing there to remember is, remember need versus needy. Remember the need versus needy. That reminds me of that Biggie lyric. I got enough to feed the needy. Sorry. The scholarship donors want you to use this money wisely for attending and graduating from an institution of higher learning, not to buy DoorDash all year long. This money that you're getting, there's a lot of responsibility that's held with it, right? They don't want to give you this money and just, all right, there you go. They want you to use that money wisely. So speaking of wisely, Jamarc, we've talked about some really cool stories, man, about like the whole college journey and running up and down, the struggle. You have any stories about like need versus needy, or like just a moment where you're welcome to real world moment where you're just like, man, this money is not looking nice?
Yeah. One thing I do want to say and touch on is that through any money that you're receiving, such as a scholarship, those things are contracts. So when you are getting a merit-based scholarship, it's because they see that you're basically good at something and they want that talent, whether it's athletic, academic, or whatever that talent is that you're good at, it feels like that particular talent will benefit their institution, hence them giving you the scholarship again, whether that's athleticism or academic or music or whatever
Fire
that
point.
talent,
Fire point.
you know, whatever that talent may be. So if you do accept that scholarship, it's like a contract. So if you're good at singing or whatever that scholarship may be, the contract is they expect you to apply that within their academic institution, or if it's athleticism, they want you to play for their program, whatever kind of scholarship that is. So it's basically like a contract. So if I get a full ride for playing basketball, I have to maintain and play basketball, whatever comes along with that scholarship. I can't decide, oh, basketball isn't for me anymore and expect them to pay. So I just wanted to make that really, really clear. You have to keep up your end of the bargain for that scholarship to come through. Now I get into your question. Oh man, we talking about making wise decisions about receiving money. I am not the person. I'm the person you talk to if you want to know all the mistakes you can make. That's me. I'm that person. All the mistakes you can make with misspending college funds. And so I was that bad decision maker. And so when I would get this money, I didn't have anybody around to give me that wisdom of how finances work and financial literacy, right? I don't want to go into my sad sob story, but I didn't have a father around. So there was no one to be like, hey, this is how you need to set yourself up. You take this money, pour it into your education. Okay, you don't need the money right now for certain things right now, but hey, you can pay up on your rent, room and board, pay up on your groceries and your food and things of that nature. You know what I did at that time? Shoot, I took that money and bought new shoes and clothes. And the craziest thing, I was known around campus as the guy with the new shoes, had a new pair of shoes on every single day. People did not know my name whatsoever, but they sure was turning head. I think my nickname was Mr. Turn Your Head, Mr. Break Your Neck. Because every time I walk by, people looking at my shoes. Oh, I like your shoes. I like your shoes. I like your shoes. I'm like, okay. And so I was getting attention from the ladies. Oh, you look cute. You look cute. You dress good. You dress good. Oh, but please don't ask me to take you out because I can't afford to take you on a date because I spent all my money on these shoes and clothes, right? So yeah, I just definitely mismanaged my money, spending it on things that I thought was important at the time. And looking back at it as an adult now, I'm like, yo, man, I really didn't need all those shoes and clothes. I could have took that money and used it wisely and put it towards my education in a smart and better way. So please don't do like me.
No, absolutely, man. Just hearing those stories, man, kind of took me back myself, man. The first thing you said that got to that I thought about, that I connected with, was like just the mindset and how we think of money. Because even, my dad was around, but my parents had a poor mindset. They had that poor man's mindset of where, like, we're thinking about the right now when it comes with money instead of the long term, which, and so a lot of times it was like, oh, we got this money. Okay, what are we about to do with this money? Instead of just like taking a deep breath and being like, all right, what can we do wisely with this money? I remember my senior year, man, my senior year was crazy. I was living off campus, and I think one of the things that was very popular at the time for people who were in college, when I say this word, it's gonna connect with you. The refund check. The refund check that came from after everything was paid, your financial aid, your grants, they gave you that refund check. And I used to remember refund check was like the income tax before the income tax. Because boys would be like, boy, that refund check, man, I'm about to get them rims. Boy, that refund check coming, I'm about to get them speakers. I'm about to boys already like, they already know when they're about to move this, money, man. Now, man, I remember, like, for us, it used to be these fits, man. Me, Festus, the boys, we used to go hit up West Oak Small, man, the Eniche, the Pele, the Echo, the Fat Farm, the Carl Kanai. Boy, we had the fits ready, man. So we could go hit up Coco Loco, man. That's for these young folks. Y'all know about Coco Loco, man. You know what I'm saying? 979 the cracking us. That's what they used to talk about. For those of you who are not from Houston, and I'm just saying all these words, they sound like jibber jabber. Don't worry. When you come to Houston, we'll let you know what it is. All right. So, that's what it was, man. And I'll never forget my senior year. I had a period where I wasn't playing like video games or whatever. I was just like kind of focused on school. And my boys hit me up. They were like, "Hey, there's this game called Call of Duty, man. People really like it, yada, yada, yada." And so I didn't have a TV. I didn't have a gaming system. So I bought a PS3. I bought a TV, as a small little TV. And I got Call of Duty. And I remember like we were just playing, man. And it was snowing outside because I went to school like near Dallas. And we had like 3-4 feet of snow, so we didn't have school for some days, and I was in there playing Call of Duty, getting like cursed out by like 13-year-olds. Man, it was a new experience. It was very weird, but yeah, I mean that was a very popular thing there. Was the thing of the refund check. Knowing what I know now, even as you were talking to Mark, I was like, what if I would have invested in Bitcoin at that time, or what if I had invested in, some startup like Tesla or something like that? And it's that thing that we do where we're like, man, we either say things like, man, nobody got time for that, or man, nobody thinking about that, or, we just always find these excuses to say, no, that's not what we do. Or, I'm living young, wild, and free. Or we have the YOLO mentality, right? And Hill actually said something really powerful about that YOLO mentality. When they say you only live once, that's a backwards comment. You only die once. It should be YODO. You live every day. But, this idea of like, oh, we got to do it right now. It's like, no, you don't. So, that's just what came to mind when I thought about that, like we were saying. Yeah, just the refund check, man, the refund check. All right. Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay. Thanks so much for listening to LYS. I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk to the parents. That's right, mom and dad. Parents, prepare your child for their best educational fit after high school with our comprehensive LYS Parents Guidebook. Our helpful guide includes a range of activities designed to help you better understand your child's unique gifts and abilities. Additionally, we provide valuable insights into the student loan debt crisis and offer practical tips on how to avoid accumulating large amounts of debt. Our ebook also includes a wealth of information on scholarships, grants, and payment exemptions that can help guide your child towards a bright and successful future. With our expert guidance, you can rest assured that your child is well prepared to make informed decisions about their education and career path. Don't let your child's future be in jeopardy. Invest in their future today by downloading the LYS Parents Guidebook. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to the show because it's some good topics. So another wonderful resource that we don't think about enough when it comes to scholarships and things of that nature is the Financial Aid Office. The Financial Aid Office is an underutilized resource when it comes to scholarships. All right. Now, we all know, well, for those of us who have had to get scholarships, financial aid in college, they are very busy in the beginning of the year. Don't go into the Financial Aid Office on like August the 28th expecting to have like an hour-long conversation. They're going to keep it moving really quick, right? Although they are very busy in the beginning of the year, come back in the middle of the semester to ask in-depth questions about scholarships, work study, or even new grants when they have more time. Remember, you are paying for these services. Remember, you are definitely paying for those services. And I put a little example there of HCC, of Houston Community College, because my freshman year, I was at UHD, still kind of lazy, still didn't figure it out. I left the beginning of my sophomore year and transferred to HCC, where I kind of figured it out. And in the process of me figuring it out, I found out that if you do just spend a couple extra minutes in the middle of the semester, you just chop it up with the financial aid people, you would be so surprised at like these things, just random, oh yeah, this thing is coming out. This grant is coming out. It's for students that are thinking about going into this major, or students who are, who have this GPA or this, that, and third. And even in talking to them, I think I got some extra money because just in them talking to me, they were like, "Oh, that's your GPA?" And I was like, "Uh." They're like, "Yeah, you actually qualify for this. I'll go ahead and put you in for that." I'm like, "What?" And that's just what happens when you go and you make yourself known, or you just chop it up with the financial aid department. So it's a very, very underutilized resource when it comes to these financial aids. I know when I was in summer school, I think this is one of the few scholarships I got. I had got a scholarship for summer school because of my grades right before the summer before I graduated. So there's definitely lots of opportunities out there in the financial aid office. Crawford, you ever notice have you used the financial aid office? Have you utilized them? Have you seen any of those benefits in going talking to them?
Man, I must have used the financial aid office in the wrong way. I always went to the financial aid office when my classes was dropped. So, them conversations didn't go like yours did. I always went up there when my classes was dropped. I'd be like, what? Why I'm not? The professor, I'd be like, is there anybody in here whose name I did not call? And for some reason, every semester that was me. I'm like, God, I must got horrible luck when it comes to my financial aid. What's going on? And I always have to go. He's like, man, go to the financial aid office. I'm like, take care of that. So that's what them conversations was like. And I was not blessed in those situations. I had to kind of scramble and try to re-register for courses, and my schedule always be messed up because I would have the perfect schedule at first and end up getting dropped from all of them for non-payment for whatever reason, issues I had with my financial aid. So yeah, not the same stories, but the good advice that you was giving, don't wait till those certain dates like I did, because those are entirely different conversations you'll be having.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, man. He said, not the same experience. All right, let's wait for this one. Okay, so remember to also ask for institutional and non-institutional scholarships and grants. Another powerful resource is the school's website. So I'll tell you this from personal experience. I remember when Daniel Hill's niece, Amaya, came on, and I'll never forget, she said the first thing she wanted to do was she wanted to go to the University of Alabama. So what did Festus do? We went right to the horse's mouth. We went straight to the University of Alabama. We went to their website. We looked up scholarships, the financial aid office. We looked up what courses can transfer. We looked up deadlines for financial aid. We looked up because she was doing nursing. We looked up their nursing school. I think we actually found some scholarships that they had for nursing. We looked up, there was something else that we looked at that was very, very important. I can't remember what it was right now. But it was just really fascinating to just go, whatever school you're trying to go to, whatever your dream school is, go to the website, get it straight from the horse's mouth. Because this is what happens. When you print out that information and you go to that financial aid office, and they say anything that's contradictory or anything that you question, you can pull it up and say, actually, according to your website, this is what it says right here. So the math is not mathing. Why are you telling me one thing, but this is showing this right here? Please, can you help me to understand the math that's occurring? I cannot math it. The equation is not equating, right? And so that's the power of using the school's website, of using that resource and getting that information, pulling it out. There's nothing more powerful than the truth. And if it's right there and it says it in their website, either it has to be explained, or if there's a mistake, it has to be adjusted for. So it's definitely a very useful tool to have there. And I want to put this last, I think, this may not be the last one, but this is a very, very important one. We mentioned this earlier. And so we're going to talk about this one a little bit, definitely in depth here. Don't let laziness stop you from getting the bag. Do not let laziness stop you from getting the bag. Non-institutionalized scholarships are the most underutilized scholarships because they require the most work. What does that mean? That means first, you got to find them. That means second, there's lots of information, right? Or lots of requirements or things that you've got to do. And thirdly, they are not heavily advertised. They are not heavily advertised. So that's very, very key right there. Do not let the laziness stop you from getting the bag. And it's not just for students. This is for parents as well, because it's very easy. I know it's taxing. I know it's taxing to be on top of your student who is very, I can't think of the word. Is it lackadaisical? Lackadaisical, I think that's the word it is. Just very lethargic when it comes to these things, thinking that the world somehow is going to take care of it for them. It's not going to get taken care of. You have got to take care of it. You have got to do it. The key here is finding them, going out there, looking for them, finding those resources that are actually there, that are actually going to give you the scholarship that you're looking for. If they require a lot of things for you, there are so many useful things we have these days, 2023, to help you fill out the requirements, to help you finalize the requirements of what's required of you. And you're going to have to search. You're going to have to search out there to find what you're looking for. And so one thing I want to actually ask you about, Crawford, is, do you remember a couple years ago, Juicy J had a scholarship out there? Do you remember that? Remember that scholarship that Juicy J had?
You talking about the one where women would twerk?
Yes, that is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, do you know who ended up winning that one?
Nah, no, I never looked
Did
at
you
who
know?
won.
Did you know that she did not twerk at all, and she still won?
How?
Well, she actually read the requirements of the scholarship. And the requirements of the scholarship was, and one of the things was an essay. Now, I think that, and I'd have to go back and look for verification, for actual verification. Now, there was an option where you could twerk. You could, but you could also turn in the essay. And so this young lady writes a wonderful essay and she wins the scholarship. And so it just kind of goes to that idea right there of like, the only thing that was being pushed out there in the media was, oh, twerk and get a scholarship. Twerk and get a scholarship. And so that's all that's out there. So guess what they're showing on TV? Girls twerking. I'm trying to get this scholarship, so I'm gonna twerk. And you had the few people who actually went in there and read the dotted line. They kind of read what was required, and what was seen was, oh, I can also do an essay. And so she goes in and does an essay and she wins. And so it just kind of goes to remind us all to make sure you're going out there, make sure you are reading what's required of those things. Make sure you really understand the ins and outs of those scholarships. I know it's a hard user agreement world out there these days, where you're just clicking the I agree button and you're just going along with it. You ain't got time to read it. But for certain things like this, where you do have an opportunity to gain monies that are going to help you with secondary education, it's very, very important that you go out there and you research for yourself. You really know what the requirements are. You really understand how the money should be used and what it can go towards, what it can't go towards, so you can make the most out of it. So essentially you can make the most out of it. But yeah, I thought that was a funny story about that. No one knew about that Juicy J, man. No one knew about that Juicy J, man. I thought that was great. When I heard that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that shows the power in actually reading the information.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a learning lesson.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. That's powerful. Hey, LYS fam. It's Olay once again. These days, many families are busy but want personalized attention. We at Laddering Your Success understand this dilemma and have created a unique approach to help guide you and your child with personal development tools to build a life of purpose. This intimate approach is helpful for those parents that feel the need to have a focused heart-to-heart conversation deciding on the next steps after high school. We provide individual post-secondary planning, virtual customized college and career counseling, and scholarship guidance and planning. Our one-on-one sessions are tailored to each individual student to maximize their potential in the post-secondary realm. With our guidance, your child will be able to make their dreams a reality. Don't wait. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to business on this podcast. And so if you love what we have just talked about, if you loved the scholarship info, if you loved talking about merit-based versus need-based, institutionalized versus non-institutionalized scholarships, the list, making those two columns, one for fall semester, one for spring semester, I'll tell you right now, that's just like 0.3, sorry, that's not 0.3, 0.03 of like what we have in the LYS scholarship handbook and the LYS scholarship guide. There are so many useful resources, so much access to scholarships that you can actually go out there and apply for. So many tools you can use. There is a winning scholarship essay in there that you can use and take as a template to use to make for your own scholarship essays. So much powerful resources, tips, tools. It's a guide. Highly recommended. A lot of what we talked about, everything we talked about came out of there. And so that's a wonderful tool for you to use. Remember, this is scholarship season. This is March, early March. So right now, this is when a lot of those scholarship deadlines are going to be coming in. You got groups, you've got these scholarship boards that are going to be looking over these scholarship essays and applications and coming up with their winners. So we want to make sure that our students are putting their best foot forward, making sure that they are putting themselves in the best position to win those scholarships. And on top of all of that, we want to make sure that whatever it is you're filling out your application for, that you are truly living and working in your purpose. You got to remember, part of the reason why we started LYS is because we found out that pretty much right around 50% of the people who are working in a professional job, their degree had nothing to do with the job or the profession that they were in. So what does that tell you? You got people who were going to school for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, accruing all this all the student loan debt. And what they're doing has nothing to do with what they went to school for in the first place. And so I thought about myself. I thought about you, Crawford. I think about so many people who, if they knew exactly what their purpose was from the get-go, if they knew those questions, if they knew the answer to those questions, what did your parents do? What did your parents do? If you don't know your parents, who can you talk to that knew your parents, right? Who can give you access to those things? If they didn't have access to that self-discovery, how much better off would they have been? And so that's the purpose of LYS. That's why we do this. And so I hope you take this information. I hope you use it to the best of your ability. If you need information on the LYS Scholarship Guide, please don't hesitate. Facebook, Discord, our website, TikTok, Instagram. You have access to all of those things. You have access to us here. We're always here to help you. Get on now, because I feel like you can say it two ways. Either people say yesterday's price is not today's price, or they say today's price is not yesterday's price. Get it while you can. I'm telling you, get it while you can. You be like, oh, I remember you guys from years ago. Oh, it's this price. Why is it so much expensive? Because today's price is not yesterday's price. We've been do it. Get it while you can, man, because the information is truly powerful, and we don't want you to miss out on it. So that's going to conclude our session of Edu-Steps today. Jamarc, did you have anything you wanted to close us out with? Anything you wanted to throw in there?
Nah, you got it. You got it, man.
All right. As always, thanks so much to the future doctor, Jamarc Crawford, for blessing us with his expertise, his knowledge, his wisdom, his guidance. Our good friend Daniel Hill was not able to be in here with us today. And I totally forgot that Festus was not able to be here today. Festus had something to do with the family. So that's why he wasn't here today. But so glad for Jamarc for being able to come in and bless us as always with Edu-Steps. So remember, folks, there are no legitimate reasons. Oh, see, this is why I need Festus. I always mess it up. There are legitimate reasons to not going to college, but there are no legitimate reasons to not getting an education. All right, folks, that's why we're here. We're here at LYS. For Jamarc Crawford, I am Olay Shorunke. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. Y'all be blessed now. Take care. Oh, you still there? Well, thank you so much for listening to the LYS podcast.